The following is for entertainment purposes only. We are not financial advisors. We are not responsible for any losses, only the profits.
What's happening, OctoFam? We're going to take a little Sunday fun day prep, talk prep. We're going to do that. Okay, let's jump in. We got a lot to go over. We got a lot of drama happening last week. So many people freaking out. They're selling at the bottom like they shouldn't be, right? Buy at the bottom. Don't sell at the bottom. But unfortunately, a lot of people are losing a lot of their life by doing that. I'm just warning you, don't let emotions get into your thesis and comfort level and robot-like actions. Just remember the stuff I talk about. Just because stuff goes down doesn't mean it's not going to go up. Could we keep crashing down? Yeah, but remember, that's why we take profit along the way. We buy on red days, and we mostly buy SPAC commons. Right? I've been telling you for months, don't buy SPAC warrants. But everyone kept buying SPAC warrants. There's a reason I lay stuff out the way I do. I hope you weren't one of the ones that was just selling everything at the end of last week. Regardless, we're going to jump on into some more plays. More and more information's coming out about some that are already out. I'm pretty pumped. Like the first one here, we got Joby Aviation. They're set to go public at $6.6 billion in evaluation. It's pretty big. But this is one of those ones that's super sick. It's a flying car. Literally a flying car. Why are we talking about this? This is RTP, the ticker on this. This is not new news to us, but why am I bringing it up? Because this is the first article I've seen that's going to be on CNBC. You notice that? How everything is going through these cycles. You get the bad news, and then the market tanks, right? And then they just keep more bad news and just keep pressing it. And then all of a sudden, finally, Joby gets on CNBC. Hoping Monday we might see a pop from this. You're going to get a lot of CNBC bros only. There's lots of people that only get information from CNBC, right? They don't go on Twitter. They don't watch YouTube. They don't do none of that. They only get it from CNBC, and they trust these people on there, which is the crazier part. But regardless, we've got a huge banging article. I'm sure it was paid for, but fantastic. We'll take it. Joby Aviation, the latest electric air taxi startup to go public. The Santa Cruz, you're going to get the Santa Cruz Central Valley SV people in here, I'm sure. Base company is going to go public with SPAC deal, 6.6. 2024, so we got about 3 years till this thing's going. They're going to have hubs like in downtown Los Angeles. Do you realize how insane that is? Or like downtown San Francisco. They're going to take like a barren old warehouse, let's call it, in Oakland, California. They're going to make it all pretty on the outside and sparkly. They're going to put their brands all over it. And then what are they going to do? They're going to put the landing pods on top. And then you're going to be able to take those from Oakland into downtown San Francisco. Can you imagine landing on the top of a building in the financial district, downtown San Francisco, and then being able to take the chute all the way down? You're right there buying Levi's and Chanel in no time. I think it's sweet. One thing I haven't really brought up, I've looked into the pricing structure on a lot of these EVTOLs, because a lot of people are fighting it and saying, who can afford a private helicopter? Not many people, but guess what? This isn't a regular helicopter. Did you know that you can fly a lot of these EVTOLs that are coming out, a lot of private jets right now, for less than first class seats? Right? Many of you have flown before, and many of you have certainly bypassed the price margins that are attached to first class. I'll pay for first class if it's worth it, but I've never found a time where it was, because it's usually like 10x at least the price. I've seen prices on these things from like LA to San Francisco-ish area, maybe, was it Phoenix or Scottsdale, Arizona to Las Vegas. I think is around like $400 or $500. Would you pay that? Yeah, I would. That's like what is that? Probably like a 6-hour drive or something. And then same from like Vegas to LA. Like if you can drop me right on the beach in LA or San Diego from these other points, I'm all for it. And $500-ish to me doesn't seem like a lot when you can compare it even to driving. Do you want to go spend, you have to take a day off of work. What do you make in a day? Average American that's living on the West Coast is going to be making close to $500 a day anyway. Equate that. So you're going to take a day off of work so you can drive and be in traffic all day? or you're just going to leave like Friday night and have this thing just zip you over wherever you're going for about 500 to, even if it's 1,000. It seems like to me that there's going to be a lot of people jumping onto these things. I think a lot. I think they're going to do great. I'm not just saying that because I'm in these. You guys know that. I even talk about plays that maybe I'm tapped out. I have no money to allocate towards some of these plays. I'm still going to be talking about them with you. I'm not just hyping this because I'm excited. I see the big macro picture of these things coming. If you don't, that's fine. But really, please just look at the macro picture of it. Look at the 3-4 year down the line and where we're at now. I don't see how they're not going to keep climbing up. Roblox. I knew nothing about this until people started talking about it like crazy months ago. What is Roblox? It's some sort of video game looking Lego-ish thing that's on an app on your phone, I guess. That's all I know. The other thing I guess I do know is that young folks love it, and all the parents with kids know about it. You know where the money is spent on these things because the kids go to the parents and say, "Mommy, Daddy," well, I guess they're just making tons and tons of money, and they're going public. When? We got this article today on March 10th, according to an amended prospectus filed on Monday. Roblox seeking to sell 2 million shares, but has not specified a price. In January, the company sold nearly 12 million shares, convertible preferred. It's come to the stock market. This is going to go IPO. This is not a SPAC, so there's not going to be a floor and all that. We'll watch the price action. At least I will. I usually don't look at IPOs till they're about at least 3 months in the cool off where the honeymoon is over now. You know, because usually these things are like 2x. The cool IPOs will like 2x, then 1.5 down, and then consolidate and get down. I want to get it when it's consolidating and the honeymoon's over. I don't want to buy it in the honeymoon stage. I don't care what it is. But something to keep in mind, you're going to see a lot of people FOMOing into this day 1, day 4 because they forgot about it and losing a ton of money. Is this one that can just keep skyrocketing up? Sure, but chances are most big IPOs have about a 3-month after IPO where it tanks. Don't believe me? Go look at any chart. Regardless, be aware of it. And don't let your friends talk you into it just because it's cool. There's tons of cool stocks that you can still get with way less risk. Moving on from there, this company called Cipher Mining, Inc. You guys ever heard of that? Me either. A newly formed US-based Bitcoin mining company to become a publicly traded company via merger with GoodWorks acquisition. So SPAC is bringing Cipher Mining, Bitcoin play. This is something I've wanted, except for I've never heard of Cipher. So what do? I Google Cipher. What gets pulled up instantly? Nothing. If I get to page 2 on Google, and you haven't even spent the $5,000 to SEO your site, how am I going to take you serious? Their site doesn't even show up. We found it thanks to the OctoFam. They did the homework on that. I couldn't find it. I couldn't even find their website. And I'll explain maybe why, which is why it's got me dampened a little bit. They're including $425 million of fully committed PIPE, 425 in PIPE, secured with anchor investors including Fidelity, awesome, and the Counterpoint Global, Morgan Stanley. That's big names. The PIPE investments include $50 million investment in kind from Cipher Mining's parent company, Bitfury, which I love the name of that, Bitfury, and is structured as a credit for future purchases of operating services and equipment for Cipher. I find this kind of odd. Right away, a parent company is piping something. I don't. Why is the parent dividing the company? Number one, I'm all for dividing companies, but they couldn't help bring this up to start it, and then they're piping. I mean, that does show, I guess, confidence, you could say, but that's just kind of where it got weird. I'll jump into this right here, and this is what just sucks for me. So going through the investor presentation, they're name dropping ARK, MicroStrategy, BlackRock, Tesla, Fidelity, Square. They're name dropping these, but these have nothing. They have something to do with supplement. What they're naming here is all these companies are for Bitcoin. We don't need to get sold on Bitcoin. We get it. But none of these companies have said anything directly about Cypher. So don't get that twisted. Then in this investor presentation, this is another thing that at first I was excited about. Why? Because they were showing huge numbers. They were showing 50 employees or 120 employees, 50 R&D employees, 7 data centers, 5 countries, mining operation. I was like, okay, these guys are sweet. $1 billion valuation fundraising in 3 years ago. Look what's at the top of this though. Bitfury. Who's Bitfury? This isn't Cypher. Bitfury, remember, they're the daddy, the parent company that is helping pipe this deal. So again, a red flag in this presentation, we're talking about the daddy over here. I like knowing they've got a backbone, they're coming from someone who's successful, but I think in here they're not making it as clear as mud as I would like it. I mean, most people aren't going to read this little Bitfury. They're going to start reading what I was reading. 7 data centers, all this. I was like, wow, how come I haven't heard of this? Oh, because this is not Cypher. This is just talking about how cool their daddy is. I don't care about your daddy. I care about what you're doing. Again, transaction perimeter, Bitfury, sourcing, and supply equipment and technology to the contractor. Again, they're talking about them. And then this is more Bitfury stuff. More about the dad. I don't care. All right, I'm glad you have a good dad, but what are you doing? What are you doing? Then they're name dropping all these people that have no direct correlation to them. Watch this though. This is where I was like, no. Right away, we're seeing a graph here. Right away, Cypher's on top of Argo, Marathon, Bitfarms, Riot, Hive, Hut 8. We've done videos on every single one of those. And they're showing they're way better at the first glance. Like, all right, green, blue, gray, what do we got? They just look way longer, right? That's good. Until you look down here and then you realize the dark blue here that all these other ones have is existing capacity. And then you notice Cypher has 0 existing capacity. What does that mean? Cypher ain't even mining yet. They're not even mining it. This is still in pipe dream mode where now they just got a bunch of money, but they're not even mining yet. They can't even just plug a couple in to show us they're mining something. In fact, 2022 build out and planned expansion is all they have next. Not even this year? Dude, Bitcoin bull cycles, usually only the big bull cycle of Bitcoin as far as I've seen on a chart is around a year-ish to 3 maybe, but definitely in the year. We're at the beginning, maybe 3 months of that bull Bitcoin cycle. By the time these guys get there, dude, that's like over a year and a half out. I don't know. I mean, I'm all about looking at future and growth and all that, but nothing until that year and a half. Then I look at this and I think, why didn't the daddy who is so cool, why didn't he just cut a little chunk off that was already existing and going? So when people like us saw this investor presentation, we could say, oh, Cypher got a chunk from daddy. Bitfury handed them some existing capacity, but Bitfury didn't. So to me, Bitfury has only 50 million invested in this through a pipe at risk. The rest is all on the other people. You and me, the other pipe investors. This could end up big, I'm sure it will. There's a lot of money, a lot of big boy stuff in here, but dude, we're way out. Plus they're not printing money, they're dumping money. I don't know. Because of the sector, it's not like EVs where I believe in 2 to 5 years EVs are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I really think the crypto space is going to keep growing, but it is still going to be in big cycle mode. I think what we'll see is like a lot of the Bitcoins, the bigger like Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're going to probably hit around 100, Bitcoin's probably going to hit around 100,000, maybe more, whatever. But then it's going to just kind of top out and chill. I think the other supplemental coins will keep rising though with it to catch up even through the next bear market for crypto. Just something to keep in mind. Go through this investor presentation. This was just 20 minutes ago and I was finally diving into this thing, but I just don't like this. If they're actually going to be bigger than all these, fantastic. But also remember, just because a company is planning to make more money than the competition doesn't mean the stock price will reflect that. That's hardly ever the case. You know, a lot of it's, remember, the dream. The dream is what sells investors more than the proven and probable. So this might be the dream that gets people to jump in. This could just rip, and people aren't going to pay attention to this, and people aren't going to realize that all this stuff up here was talking about the daddy. This could still rip, but for me, I was like, dude, I'll just chill where I'm at. I'm already good in all these other minors, and I'm fine for now. That's what I think about this one. If they were to get a chunk from daddy at the launch to even compete, they easily could have done that. If they would have done something like that, I'd be all for it. Am I missing the boat here? Let me know, folks. Let me know if I'm just totally missing it. Sport Radar, something of the unicorn status that we've wanted for a long time, a super long time for SPACs. Well, we finally got them. Kind of, it's still like rumor, right? $1 billion to go public through. It sounds like it's legit. It sounds like we're 100% there. I'm not 100% sure, but $10 billion deal to go public through Bahuli-led SPAC. Okay, Todd Bowley. This is big. My problem, which I've talked about last week, is that Genius Sports, the DMYD, I believe DMYD, that thing, I believe, had about 40% of the market share. These guys have about 55%-ish, right? Kind of close. They should be kind of parallel as far as evaluations go. Remember, I've talked about the NFL contract, which is also up really soon, I think, for the next year. So I've also said Sport Radar might not get it. And if Genius Sports gets it, guess what's going to happen? Here's the other problem looking at the evaluations. Genius Sport, I think, was valued around like 2.5 billion or 2 billion. This one is at 10 billion, which is 5x. I'm cool with that if Sports Radar has some sort of bigger macro outlook coming up, but I don't see it, number one. And number two, they have nothing that suggests anywhere close to 5 times evaluation, maybe 4 times evaluation, not even close. Maybe 2 times evaluation, like if this would have been a $5 billion deal, okay. But it's not like they came out and said, hey, by the way, we're doing like all the data for maybe like esports or something crazy like that. We already know that's not going to happen because other companies are on those. We've done videos about that. So where's the 10 billion going from? I'm guessing this is going to be like the standard crazy SPAC deal now where they have the SPAC off and basically the person willing to spend the most is the one who got the contract. 10 billion for this? They're probably going to evaluate, I'm sure, out to like, maybe in 2025 we'll be evaluated that much because sports are really big. I don't know. Ticker on this though, HZON. I'm sure you're going to get some pops in this. You're going to get some pops because it is what it is. They might be better at marketing because people know what Sports Radar are, but no one knew what Sports Genius Sports was. So you'll still get some decent pops in this. But I talked about this last week. How I'm going to play this is if I wanted to get in here, I'm going to buy DMYD. Because remember, too, with this big evaluation, this thing is going to be harder to run. Right? It's going to take more money. So I'd rather play the baby brother, let's call it. Let's just call it the brother. I think that they were pretty close. 30 to 40% or something like that. It's not like Genius Sports only had like 4% of market. These guys got like 96. No, it's nothing like that. Am I missing something on Sports Radar? I like it. I don't like the evaluation. I think it'll probably weasel its way up to about 20 is my guess-ish at some point. We'll have to see though. Maybe they're way better at branding, like DraftKings. DraftKings is amazing at marketing. If they can pair up with them somehow, or UFC or anything like that, it could go parabolic. But I'm going to kind of sit on the sidelines of this, unless I can get it for dirt cheap. But I don't know. I'm only buying unicorns that just seem 100% legit. Next, the founders of Kazoo. You heard of that? Maybe not, because it's mainly UK based. They're considering a $6 billion Euro merger with hedge fund tycoon Oshkosh Shell. Whoa. So this is, what is this? Let's first go into that. Kazoo, the better way to buy a used car. Buy or finance online, we'll deliver it, love it, or return it. I like this one. I think this is better than the one where you have to go to the station and then it comes off the thing and it comes out. I think this is better than CarMax because you don't got to go to CarMax. It's literally I can shop online and they deliver it to you. I think Tesla's already doing that. But this is kind of cool. It's only UK based. Most UK stocks, anything other than American stocks, don't do near as well as others. That's how it is. I have nothing against UK or anything like that, but just keep that in mind also. I actually kind of like this. I like this deal. Would I buy a car like this? Yeah. I'm a person that refuses to set foot in a car dealership anymore. I'll get into stories at some point, but maybe not. Regardless, I think it's kind of cool. Citroen, y'all ever heard of that? Have a Renault? Anyone ever have one of those? No. But you can just order it. It's a little Mercedes, little bubble thing. And it comes right to your door. Let's try to get back into the details of it. Does it say anything specific that we need to know about? Well, first of all, the ticker on this is Ajax. AJAX. We've talked about them quite a bit. Who raised $750 million when he came to New York last fall. I don't know if this is 100% legit yet either. I haven't had time to look it up. Considering, okay, so it's not 100% legit happening, it's considering, but more than likely this will go through him. Ajax is a former Goldman Sachs executive, Mr. Ajax himself. That's great. I don't see anything else that says anything about this. We got Deliveroo will announce its intention to publish a registration document on Monday before the IPO evaluates $7 billion. So there's another one competitor called Deliveroo. That's maybe a competitor. This company did buy out another Kazoo agrees deal to buy a car subscription service Drover. And this was end of last year. So Kazoo is moving forward. They're buying companies. I think it's kind of cool. I don't think it's going to go parabolic and nuts. It's probably maybe a unicorn in the space, but it's got car care, paint protection. So extended car warranty. They're upselling on the back end here. Just cool. I'm sure they're making money. I like this better than physical car lots. Remember? I like it better than that. Seems legit to me. Vauxhall Corsa. The Kia Sportage, Benz, Mercedes. I'm surprised. Is there something like this in the United States where they just buy it like this? I don't know. Let me know. I don't even know. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, Mr. and Mrs. QQQ. Remember Mr. Doggy back here? Well, where did QQ end? Basically, we had let's call it a big double top back over here and back over here. This is where QQQ landed. This was at about, where is it at? About 300. Remember that retail optics I talked about? The robots use retail optics, by the way. I don't just talk about it because I think it sounds cool. Can y'all see this volume at the end though? Do you see how insane this volume is here? You see anything back here that's remotely close? Maybe back here we had, okay, the last time we had a red even close to that was last July. About 9 months ago. Look at these volume candles on QQQ, brother. Huge up, huge down. Bears out at honey. Big red, kiss a little longer. We could be done, we do have to go over to SPY. I gotta show you what is happening over here. So to me, it kind of looks like we might end up having a big, huge M going on. Some will probably start calling this a potential double top. We talk about the upside down Wu-Tang, Donald M. This line right about here, this 371, 370, let's call it 371. I think this is going to be the line of even back here to the 367. These are going to be the ones we definitely don't want to cross. As long as we stay above those, I think we're probably going to be fine. My guess is we're probably going to get some rollover from this rally on Friday and get another upside down Wu-Tang, but a mini one. I think we're going to get another little M. But regardless, I think big picture, we're soon, by this month, I believe we're going to head to 400 on the SPY. Total speculation, just looking at the chart, just looking at exhaustion, looking at the amount of volume though, again down here. That volume is nuts. It's absolutely incredible, that amount of volume, especially the bears out of honey, the big red. Kiss a little longer, right? That means it's usually, this is when I was buying. We were buying in the group right when we were seeing this. We were buying in here in this consolidation point. I believe this was about 10:30 last Friday. Yep, boom, 10:30. About 10:30 last Friday, we're buying right there, right at the bottom there. Surfed it up a little bit. We'll see how Monday opens. Don't get too afraid though, like I said, unless we start approaching below this 372 or below this 368. I think we're probably going to be fine. Still, as always, I suggest getting in SPACs near the floor. You have a ton of rad plays to pick right now with almost zero risk, maybe 5% risk, downside risk. There's a reason I say to get in them. So when this stuff happens, you're still chilling. You know, you didn't just lose 85% of your portfolio like most people and then sell at the bottom when we were buying, right? Just keep that in mind. If you're really scared, just zoom out. If you zoom out, you can see back here in just September alone, it's not even, what we just had is not even close to as bad as that. We still have another 4% this could go down, by the way. We could still go, we could probably M down and hit that. I've seen something where it was saying like after elections, when a new US president comes in, basically the first 3.5 months after a new president comes in, we always have a rally, but then it kind of dips and then stagnates. And then once we hit March, April, like April 1st-ish is when stuff starts ripping again. So we might get some red for the rest of the month. You know, we'll probably get some fake outs and some M's going on, just some big old M's and N's. But I still say by April 1st, we're probably going to be darn close to that 400. Once we get to 400 though, be very cautious. Be very cautious. It's again, we've got that optical 400, but it's going to be used. It's going to be used to mess with people either up or down. I'm going to be very cautious and probably be back and sell. I'll be selling stuff before that to get back in, rinse, repeat to SPACs and the floor again. Are y'all joining me, or you're just not even going to do it? Who pulled everything out on Friday? I hope you didn't, but if you did, just go back to basics, what we talked about. Just go back to basics. You can still make that money up easily. We show you tons and tons of ways to do it. Let us know down in the comments. Thanks for watching this video. I'm sure we have a ton more coming out here, maybe even tonight with another LOI. We'll find out. Thanks for joining.
Did you know that we give away free silver? Simply leave a comment on the video, and as long as you're in the continental United States, you can be automatically entered to win. Please friend us on Twitter and StockTwits.